1 Kings, chapters 4 through 6, we explore Solomon's wisdom, his preparations for building the temple, and the construction of the temple itself. These chapters offer profound insights into leadership, divine guidance, and the importance of faithfulness in undertaking God's work. Chapter 4 highlights Solomon's wisdom and the prosperity of his reign, illustrating the blessings that come from God-given wisdom. Chapter 5 describes Solomon's preparations for building the temple, emphasizing the importance of planning and collaboration in fulfilling God's commands. Chapter 6 details the construction of the temple, symbolizing the importance of dedicating our best efforts to God's service. As you reflect on these chapters, consider how Solomon's wisdom and dedication to God's commands can inspire you in your daily life. How does the building of the temple mirror the way you build your life around faith? These passages remind us that a life built on divine wisdom and obedience to God's will can bring about spiritual growth and a deeper connection with our faith. They encourage us to seek God's guidance in our decisions and to dedicate our lives to serving His purpose. Now please pray with me. Dear gracious God, grant us the wisdom of Solomon as we build our lives. Help us to seek your guidance, serve with dedication, and grow in faith through your word. Thank you for guiding us through this day. As night falls, grant us peace and rest. Guide us in truth, protect us, and renew our spirits for tomorrow. May we serve you and reflect your love. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. 1 Kings, chapter 4. King Solomon was king over all of Israel. These were the princes who he had: Azariah, the son of Zadok, the priest; Elihoreph and Ahijah, the sons of Shisha, scribes; Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, the recorder; and Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was over the army. And Zadok and Abiathar were priests, and Azariah the son of Nathan was over the officers. And Zabud the son of Nathan was a priest and the king's friend, and Ahishar was over the household, and Adoniram the son of Abda was over the men subject to forced labor. Solomon had 12 officers over all Israel, who provided food for the king and his household. Each man had to make provision for a month in the year. These are their names: Ben-Hur in the hill country of Ephraim, Ben-Decker in Makaz and in Shalbim, and Beth-Shemesh and Elon-Beth-Hanan, Ben-Hesed in Arubath, to him belonged Soko and all the land of Hepher. Ben-Abinadab in all the height of Dor, he had Taphath the daughter of Solomon as wife. Bana the son of Ahilud in Tanakh and Megiddo, and all Beth-Shan, which is beside Zarethan beneath Jezreel, from Beth-Shan to Abel-Maholah, even to beyond Jokmeam. Ben-Geber in Ramoth-Gilead, to him belong the towns of Jair the son of Manasseh, which are in Gilead. To him also belonged the region of Argob, which is in Bashan, 60 great cities with walls and bronze bars. Ahinadab the son of Iddo in Mahanaim, Ahimaaz in Naphtali. He also took Basemath the daughter of Solomon as wife, Bana the son of Hushai in Asher and Bealoth, Jehoshaphat the son of Peruah in Issachar, Shimei the son of Elah in Benjamin, Geber the son of Uri in the country of Gilead, the country of Sihon king of the Amorites and of Og king of Bashan. And he was the only officer who was in the land. Judah and Israel were many as the sand, which is by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry. Solomon ruled over all the kingdoms from the river to the land of the Philistines and to the border of Egypt. They brought tribute and served Solomon all the days of his life. Solomon's provision for one day was 30 measures of fine flour, 60 measures of meal, 10 fat oxen, 20 oxen out of the pastures, and 100 sheep, besides deer, gazelles, and roebucks, and fattened fowl. For he ruled over all the region on this side of the river, from Tifsa even to Gaza, over all the kings on this side of the river. And he had peace on all sides around him. Judah and Israel lived safely, every man under his vine and under his fig tree, from Dan even to Beersheba, all the days of Solomon. Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots, and 12,000 horsemen. Those officers provided food for King Solomon, and for all who came to King Solomon's table, each in his month. They let nothing be lacking. Barley also and straw for the horses and swift steeds brought them to the place where the officers were, every man according to his duty. God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, and very great understanding, even as the sand that is on the seashore. Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the East and all the wisdom of Egypt. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan the Ezrahite, and Heman, and Calcol, and Darda, the sons of Mahol. His fame was in all the surrounding nations. He spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. He spoke of trees, from the cedar that is in Lebanon, even to the hyssop that springs out of the wall. He spoke also of animals, and of birds, and of creeping things, and of fish. There came of all peoples to hear the wisdom of Solomon, from all kings of the earth, who had heard of his wisdom. 1 Kings, chapter 5. Preparations for building the temple. Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants to Solomon, for he had heard that they had anointed him king in the place of his father. For Hiram was ever a lover of David. Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, You know how that David my father could not build a house for the name of Yahweh, his God, for the wars, which were about him on every side, until Yahweh put them under the soles of his feet. But now Yahweh, my God, has given me rest on every side. There is neither adversary nor evil occurrence. Behold, I purpose to build a house for the name of Yahweh my God, as Yahweh spoke to David my father, saying, Your son, whom I will set on your throne in your place, he shall build the house for my name. Now therefore command that they cut me cedar trees out of Lebanon. My servants shall be with your servants, and I will give you wages for your servants according to all that you shall appoint. For you know that there is not among us any who knows how to cut timber like the Sidonians. When Hiram heard the words of Solomon, he rejoiced greatly, and said, Blessed is Yahweh this day, who has given to David a wise son over this great people. Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have heard the message which you have sent to me. I will do all your desire concerning cedar timber and fir timber. My servants shall bring them down from Lebanon to the sea. I will make them into rafts to go by sea to the place that you shall tell me, and will cause them to be discharged there, and you shall receive them. You shall accomplish my desire in giving food for my household. So Hiram gave Solomon timber of cedar and timber of fir, according to all his desire. Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat for food to his household, and 20 measures of pure oil. Thus Solomon gave to Hiram year by year. Yahweh gave Solomon wisdom, as he promised him, and there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and they two made a league together. King Solomon raised a levy out of all Israel, and the levy was 30,000 men. He sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 a month by courses. A month they were in Lebanon, and 2 months at home, and Adoniram was over the levy. Solomon had 70,000 who bore burdens, and 80,000 who were stone cutters in the mountains, besides Solomon's chief officers who were over the work, 3,300 who ruled over the people who labored in the work. the king commanded, and they brought great stones, costly stones, to lay the foundation of the house with cut stones. Solomon's builders, Hiram's builders, and the Gebalites cut them, and prepared the timber and the stones to build the house. 1 Kings, chapter 6. Solomon builds the temple. It happened in the 480th year after the children of Israel had come out of the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month Ziv, which is the 2nd month, that he began to build Yahweh's house. The house that King Solomon built for Yahweh had a length of 60 cubits, a width of 20 cubits, and a height of 30 cubits. The porch in front of the temple of the house had a length of 20 cubits, which was along the width of the house. It was 10 cubits deep in front of the house. He made for the house windows of fixed lattice work. Against the wall of the house, he built floors all around, against the walls of the house all around, both of the temple and of the inner sanctuary, and he made side rooms all around. The lowest floor was 5 cubits wide, the middle was 6 cubits wide, and the third was 7 cubits wide, for on the outside of the house he made offsets all around so that the beams would not be fastened in the walls of the house. The house, when it was in building, was built of stone prepared at the quarry, and there was neither hammer nor axe, nor any tool of iron heard in the house, while it was in building. The door for the middle side rooms was in the right side of the house. They went up by winding stairs into the middle story, and out of the middle into the third. He built the house and finished it, and he covered the house with beams and planks of cedar. He built the floors all around the house 5 cubits high, and they rested on the house with timber of cedar. Solomon built the inner sanctuary in the inner part of the house to set the ark of Yahweh's covenant there. The inner sanctuary was 20 cubits in length, 20 cubits in width, and 20 cubits in its height. He overlaid it with pure gold. He made an altar of cedar in front of the inner sanctuary. Solomon overlaid the house within with pure gold. He drew chains of gold across in front of the inner sanctuary, and he overlaid it with gold. He overlaid the whole house with gold until all the house was finished. Also he overlaid the whole altar that belonged to the inner sanctuary with gold. In the inner sanctuary he made 2 cherubim of olive wood, each 10 cubits high. 5 cubits was the one wing of the cherub, and 5 cubits the other wing of the cherub. From the tip of one wing to the tip of the other was 10 cubits. The other cherub was 10 cubits. Both the cherubim were of one measure and one form. The height of the one cherub was 10 cubits, and so was it of the other cherub. He set the cherubim within the inner house. The wings of the cherubim were spread out, so that the wing of the one touched the one wall, and the wing of the other cherub touched the other wall. Their wings touched one another in the middle of the house. He overlaid the cherubim with gold. He carved all the walls of the house around with carved figures of cherubim and palm trees and open flowers, inside and outside. The floor of the house he overlaid with gold, inside and outside. For the entrance of the inner sanctuary, he made doors of olive wood. The lintel and doorposts were a 5th part of the wall. So he made 2 doors of olive wood, and he carved on them carvings of cherubim and palm trees and open flowers, and overlaid them with gold. He spread the gold on the cherubim and on the palm trees. So also he made for the door of the temple posts of olive wood, a 4th part of the wall. The 2 doors were of fir wood. The 2 leaves of the one door were folding, and the 2 leaves of the other door were folding. He carved cherubim and palm trees and open flowers, and overlaid them with gold fitted on the carved work. He built the inner court with 3 rows of cut stone and a row of cedar beams. In the 4th year was the foundation of Yahweh's house laid, in the month Ziv. In the 11th year, in the month Bul, which is the 8th month, the house was finished throughout all its parts, and according to all its specifications. So he was 7 years in building it.